Everybody, it's Shelley Hoffman, and I'm here with our mayor, Dick Clarke. And it's just another week in the village of Baldwinsville, and it's just crazy how every week we have something to talk about, right?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, sometimes more than others, and most of the time it's good stuff, which is nice. I just wanted to point
Yeah.
out something, a little history lesson. Behind me, you see that sign that says WSIU radio?
Yeah.
I went to Southern Illinois from the fall of '67 through spring of '70. The last year, I rented a house that was a broadcasting house. People who were in the broadcasting department, there were three people could live there, and it had been rented by radio TV people for 6 or 7 years. Well, June of '70, when I was supposed to graduate, was Kent State and the riots, and our Carbondale, Illinois, got destroyed by protests like the kind we're seeing some places today. It was all over the war, and we were told classes were ended because it was like about a week to go in classes. No graduation ceremony. You've got till this day to get out of town, basically. So I call my parents, they come pick me up. So as I'm getting my stuff out, this sign is in one of the closets because it'd been passed down from radio and TV people to the next generation each year. Except now we don't have anybody signed up to rent the place for the next year because of all the confusion. So I took the sign with me. Now, I don't want to leave it here because somebody's going to throw it in the trash in 2 days. So it's been sitting with me for 50 years. And I had it kind of stashed away, and I finally said, I'm just going to stick it up in the office so I can see it. It just reminded me of a good time. All right, now on to the serious stuff. This week was brush. I saw him picking up yesterday, so that you should have your brush picked up today if it didn't get done yesterday. Steve wanted me to point out for people to take notice of new crosswalks on the south side of the river. Tappan Street at McCary and Canton, and Downer Street at Canton and Frawley. And they put in new sidewalks leading into the road with the little dimples on it to make it easy so it's not slippery trying to get up the little bit of a grade to the sidewalk. The lighting's been improved so that it was a community development project, and it's made those crosswalks safer. And we just feel good every time we can do something that we say we just made something safer for people. And the nice thing for the south side of the river is they qualify for community development projects. The north side doesn't, based on income levels and so on. So we're able to do work over there. And this was a recommendation of some of the board members of getting some of those intersections cleaned up. So they're done. So hopefully people will notice them, especially people walking. A little bit of a surprise I have for you is this week we woke up Tuesday morning to a notice that Steve D'Arcangelo is resigning for a job in the private sector. A longtime friend that runs some sort of an environmental type of company, I think, and Steve is going to be operations manager, and their gain, our loss. So we are in the process of trying to determine how we go about replacing that position. Years ago, we had a highway or a DPW superintendent who was in charge of both the highway and the water departments, and then we leased out to a engineering firm. And then at some point, maybe a year before I got on the board, the 2006, somewhere in that area, they decided when Claude retired, let's replace him with combination engineer superintendent. We'll pay them more money, but the engineering fees were crazy. I mean, they were spending $150,000 to $200,000 a year on engineering stuff. Now we had a person who could do all that engineering for us in-house. And I think with Steve, you really saw that he really took a personal approach to things. It was his name was on things, people are going to say the engineer was responsible for this. And I think he holds his head high, knowing that he did a great job for the village. We will certainly miss him. So we've got to determine, do we replace it with the same kind of a position? Is there anybody out there that's interested in that kind of position? Unfortunately, we have to do it fairly quickly because there's also a position in the water department that needs to be filled. We're trying to decide whether we go ahead and do that as a board, with input from Chuck McAuliffe. And we're in good hands with Chuck as far as the day-to-day operation. He's going to get drainage basins cleaned. He's going to get water leaks fixed. He's going to get brush picked up when it's supposed to, and that type of stuff. But there's bigger decisions, particularly writing bid contracts, put out a bid for sidewalks. You got to make sure you got all your bases covered so that they don't find a quirk in your bid that they can maybe make a lot extra money. So that's going to be our extra work. And it's a tough time to do stuff like that because I'm not really comfortable sitting in the room with, all the board members or 2 or 3 board members and an applicant who was interested in the job. I suppose we could be in our boardroom and they could be at the other end. Might be easier to do it by Zoom. So that's going to be on our plate between now and, hopefully be taken care of before Thanksgiving because you can't.
Right. When is Steve's last day? How long is he with us still?
He's with us a week from Friday. This is his last day.
So
because the other job was losing a guy on the 30th, and this guy that was hiring Steve needed somebody to be on board for a few days with the guy who was leaving, which is what we had hoped to do, which is what happened when Steve was hired. Is Tim Baker had been our engineer / superintendent. Steve was able to work with him for a month or 2, see some of the ins and outs of the job without all the pressure right away. But we have a good board. We have a very good DPW committee with Bruce and Megan and Mark. They've been on that committee for several years. So I think they will be very helpful to somebody new coming on at some point. So we'll see how that all works out. That's something I was looking forward to, believe me.
No, and I got to be honest, Mayor, we need to talk about the word surprise. Because when I hear the word surprise, I think it's a good thing, and that's good for Steve. Obviously, congratulations to him. But surprise for me is I've really come to admire and respect him, so I'm happy for him. But that is a shock because he takes pride. He answers questions. Anytime, I would think not just me, but other community members call him. Just a great source of information. So
yeah.
We've been lucky, I guess, to have him this long.
Yeah, he does take it personally. I mean, he puts his stamp on stuff, and it makes us better for it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to remind people that the election is Tuesday. This is somebody had asked on our Facebook site, is this for the president? This is only for 3 village board seats. It was supposed to have been done in March. Now we're going to be next Tuesday from noon to 9 at Village Hall. If you need an absentee ballot for any reason, because now the COVID is a legitimate excuse, you fear of getting the disease, today's the last day that they can be mailed out. After this, you'd have to come down to Village Hall and be handed one. So contact Village Hall, 635-3521, and Mo or Jody or Rosemary, whoever's there, will work out something to get you your ballot.
Okay.
If you vote in person, have to wear a mask. We do have a camera at the door when you come during the day, so that if you stop by to pick up a ballot, just ring the doorbell. They can see who it is. They can bring you out a ballot and take care of that. So we have 3 incumbents that are on the board. That means they're on the board now, and a challenger. So there's a lot at stake. I think what you said about Steve and his pride in his work, I think our board equally has pride in what we do on a regular basis without a lot of muss and fuss. We get along. We don't always agree. but we're able to work things out amicably so that everybody can at least be comfortable with the direction that we're headed. And so 3 seats on the board is a big deal. Canton Woods, busy as always. The ice cream that didn't get given away last week is going to be given away tomorrow, 2 o'clock, same deal. Pull up, they'll hand you ice cream in like through the passenger window. Starts at 2 and will go until the ice cream is gone.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be a nice day. Yeah, hopefully it'll be nice to have some ice cream. The Walk for the Woods is ongoing. It started 1st of September. There is a application form in the newsletter. You can go on our website, and I believe there's a form where you sign up. It's a $10 fee, or maybe it's a little more this year. You get a t-shirt, that type of stuff. And if you want a t-shirt but you don't want to walk, you can do that too. And I'm going to walk. I'm not going to ask people to support me in the walk. I'm going to ask people to support my sister Cindy because she's walking. I feel more comfortable as mayor not asking people to, oh, you better support my cause. And I hope they do. And my sister Cindy is on Facebook. If you need to contact me, I can get you in contact with her, and she's going to walk. And hopefully there'll be some people that want to support it. This is a big fundraiser for the center, for Canton Woods, and they've lost the car show already, which was another good fundraiser. So hopefully people will step up. Flu shots, September 23rd at 9:30. Again, this is in the car. Have a mask, have your insurance card because Medicare pays for that. Concert on the 17th at 3 o'clock. Bring your own chair and mask. And I guess George Leah, who was here a couple weeks ago, is coming back in October. They're hoping for good weather so he can put on another concert. And one of the big deals is that they've been doing the lunch on Monday and Friday. You can pick up a frozen lunch by pulling up in front. Now they're going to go back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the regular schedule that they always had. I guess Peace decided, since they're having to cook lunches for school kids, the preschool lunches and that type of thing, preschool breakfast and then lunch, that they're there anyways. We might as well provide the senior centers with lunch those days. Again, don't wait till Wednesday morning to call because their number will have gone in already. So what I would suggest, for Monday lunch, call Friday. For Wednesday lunch, call Monday. And for a Friday lunch, call Tuesday or Wednesday. Give them a couple days notice so they can put in the number. So 3 days a week, you can come and get a frozen lunch, the same lunch you would have gotten if you were inside Canton Woods. And I think that's great for the seniors. The more times they can get food provided for them, the better. So if any questions, again, call the center. In the process of, we got a notice from the governor that based on what we had dealt with the COVID emergency, we now have to come up with plans, written plans, if there would be another such emergency. How will we handle people working at home? How would we work shifts so people weren't overlapping and too close together? The nice thing is we did all that stuff the past time, like the chief, I sent a note, excuse me, to the chief yesterday. And before he went home, I had all his replies. And I've asked Steve before he leaves to take a look because he did a lot of the same thing. He rotated water department people so they weren't working together. And if one got infected, they wouldn't all get infected. So we're pretty well prepared. And then what we have to do is present that to the unions. And I assume the unions have to sign off that they're comfortable, that if there is another outbreak or similar type of thing, that they're well protected. And while it seems like kind of a pain in the neck, it does make some sense that we have it in place. The chief did have one note, please lock your cars. We continue to have people on a street, like say four cars reported stuff stolen, and all 4 of them were unlocked. All the rest of the people on the street had their cars locked, and nobody's breaking in windows. I don't think they want to make the noise of busting glass and get caught. And people are going to leave, some people leave their credit cards in their cars. Some people leave their garage door opener in their car, which means people can now get in your house. So lock your car. Simple. That's all the chief is asking this week. I checked with Greg and codes. Nothing special. Just want to wish Greg and Jody all the luck in the world. They're getting married Saturday. Tough time making wedding plans. And Greg has a lot of family and friends in Florida that can't come because of the quarantine situation. I think I heard that he's going to have it on his Facebook page streaming live, that somebody will, so that people can watch. So if you know Greg and Jody and you want to watch their wedding, check Greg's site. If it's not there, maybe he's going to put it on the code site. I don't know. I have not checked with him.
We can share it to the village site. I can share it to my heart home. Everybody can watch Greg's wedding.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
And I'm very happy for both of them. They make a very nice couple. I wish them both a lot of years of happiness. Court goes tonight. Again, it's only criminal, no traffic stuff. Call the court office today if you're not sure whether you can get in tonight. Don't just show up and find out that you can't come because you don't have you on the schedule. And a couple things at Shacksboro. I think last week I said that the book sale was the 11th and 12th, and I'm wrong. Or the peony sale. The book sale, which is going to be a little different this year, obviously. It's the 11th and 12th, which is this Friday and Saturday, from 10 to 4. Face coverings are required. Bring your own bag to carry the books out. This is a COVID-19 style book sale, and it's a big fundraiser for Shacksboro. Now, the peony plant sale is the following Saturday on the 19th. Now, these are vintage peonies that have been over there for a while. They needed to thin them down. They've been there a long time and they're getting overgrown, so they're going to have some vintage peonies for sale. Red, white, or pink, $20 a plant. The second plant's 50% off from 9 to noon at Shacksboro on the 19th of September. So that's their big thing, is peonies and books. And they got sales the next 2 weeks. If you have never been to Shacksboro, it's worth stopping over when they are open, when they can be open. A lot of great historic stuff. They have different displays, I think, by month. They have a lot of speakers. It doesn't cost you a lot to be a member. I think it's $25 for a family, $18 for an individual. A senior couple is $20, and an individual senior is $10. They have bricks that you can buy for the front sidewalk if you want to recognize somebody that maybe was a historic person, a relative of yours. They also are selling jigsaw puzzles. So, if you're, my wife and I are doing jigsaw puzzles 1 to 2 a week, and we have a huge supply, and we had built up even before the virus hit. But we share with my sister. We've shared with Canton Woods, rotate them around. But they have some for sale. So if you contact them, they will get you a list. They have good. You get a newsletter, and it's 4 to 6 pages. All kinds of museum notes, usually a historic piece, canoeing the historic barge canal, that type of thing. We have a lot of great history in Baldwinsville, and we have people like Sue McManus, Bonnie Kisselstein, and a lot of people who work with them to keep the history alive. And if you've grown up in Beeville and you think you remember things in history, stop in at the museum, get a hold of either Bonnie or Sue with questions. I've gone over there and done a Remembering Baldwinsville. I can't remember a more fun time getting ready, going through and trying to pick out things that I remembered from when we moved. My parents moved back to Beeville and brought me here to live for the first time. My first memory was my mother sent me down. We lived next door to Gates Funeral Home My sister still lives there. She sent me down to, there was a market where the coffee shop is.
Okay.
Those two little stores that was Bill Murray's Troy Market. Um, there was an A&P and a PNC in the village, but Troy Market was a block and a half away. And uh, my dad and mom had grown up here and knew Bill Murray. So you tried to support people you knew. So I'm walking down, and my mom sends me down. We win. We have no groceries, so go down and grab some bread, eggs, milk. At least we can get in, like a thing of bologna, and that'll get us through a day or two. So I go down. I'm walking back down to the corner where the nail salon is now, and you're going to step out into the road. And it was noon, and the fire siren was at the top of the police station, and you never heard the fire siren. It would wake you from a sound sleep. They blow out. It blew out a number 34. That told you it was, and I'm making this up, but like McCary and Downer Street. So now the fire chiefs could head there. The fire department people would run and jump on trucks and head there. They didn't have all the fancy plectrons and the phones that could tell them. They could hear 911. It was a different world. So at noon they would blow the siren, because like Morris Pumps, which is down at Kinney's Plaza, that whole area was construction. There's a factory. At noon, that siren would blow, and all of a sudden there would be like 75 guys sitting on benches eating their lunch on the sidewalk. So that told everybody it's noon. I never heard of, I've just moved here. I'm just about to step off the curb, and that thing went, and I went right flat on my back in the slush. I get up, I'm a couple of people walking by. You all right? Ha ha ha. So, and I at that point I haven't turned 12 yet. I'm a couple days away from my birthday. So I come walking home, and I walk in, and my mother said, "Well," I said, "Yeah, I got it. My whole backside is soaked. I fell in the slush." What happened? The fire siren went off just as I was stepping off the curb, and I don't know if it was a bomb going off. My whole body just went crazy. So those kind of things were fun to talk about.
Right.
And I lived in a great spot, a block from the Four Corners. At that point, we had the Cozy Corner, we had Dullen's, we had all these little different diner places where, you could hold 25, 30 people. Kids would go there after school. The corner pharmacy was still there. We would stop down, a couple of my friends and I would walk down, go in and get a cherry phosphate or a vanilla Coke, and sit at the counter like we were big cheeses. And, we're 12, 13 years old. It was just another world. I'm sad that people don't get to enjoy that kind of stuff. So Shacksboro tries to keep those memories alive. They talk to people. I saw recently some guy who was a beekeeper talking all about the fun of trying to deal with bees and how many times he got stung. And there was a time when stuff like that was prevalent around here. Now it's a little harder to find people. It's hard to find a mechanic to fix your car or somebody to come and fix a leaky water pipe. I'm a big Mike Rowe fan. Let's bring back the trades. Let's encourage kids to go into trades, because you can make more money and start right away. Go to 6 months of trade school so you know how to install a toilet and a water line and a few of those things, and you can make a fortune in the first year you work. You can be making $60,000, $70,000 if you want to work. And so people like Bonnie and Sue and all the others that are involved really keep alive all those memories. And you just get scared that when you see things getting destroyed that because they're old, that was other people. That's not us. And unfortunately, we're a little separated here. We can keep our history, I think, alive a little longer. And walk through that cemetery, Riverview. And for me to look at headstones, half the teachers I had in school, parents of my friends, the nostalgia. You see something. I see John Nostrand. I see Jim Pelcher, John Arcaro. People who shaped me as a person. And so I really revere those grounds. and other people drive by and go, just a cemetery.
Yeah.
You know, for those of us who have the good memories, it's different. So it's my long way of saying, take advantage of Shacksboro when you can, you know, when they open up, whether it's next spring or whenever it is. And if you're looking for something historic, like you're in a historic house, if you are looking for old pictures of your house, you can contact them. They would help try to find them. Then they would make copies for you, and then you could go and get them blown up, whatever you want to do. So anybody who's in a house that they're wondering about the history, those are great places to go, and they'll help you. I don't think I have. Oh, I just remind people of the Taste of Beeville, the Fab Fest, the 22nd through the 27th of this month. Go on our site, our Facebook site. Go on the Chamber of Commerce Facebook site. They'll have information about that. I think it's a great way to get people out and involved, and I hope it goes over really big. And if you're looking for a cheap meal, on the 26th of September, Meals on Wheels is having that pulled pork dinner for $10, 4 o'clock on. They'll bring it out to your car. That's the only way you can do it. And get there early because they might go fast. So there's still a lot of stuff going on. We are now looking. I'm getting a little nervous thinking ahead that weather's going to turn on us and we're going to start getting more rain, cooler weather. And we just hope that all our schools stay safe. You know, all the local schools are all back in session. Colleges, some of them are doing better than others at staying safe. Looking, you know, people like me worry about we may end up with a virtual Thanksgiving dinner. We may have our families on laptop eating dinner at their house at the same time we're eating dinner, and we can still laugh like we do when we're together. But you know, who knows? And somebody said, well, you can't stay locked in your cellar the rest of your life. I said, I'm not locked in my cellar. I go out. I picked up groceries yesterday and today. You know, they put them in the back of the car for us. I was at Canton Woods today on an issue, you know, with 3 or 4 people, and kept our distances. But not everybody does that. And so here we are. I have nothing else for you at this point. No more surprises.
No more surprises. Well, you definitely hit me with this. Our talk today was a little choppy like last week, so I'll work on that for next week. But you know, for those of you that were listening when he was talking, just repeat Steve Darkangelo's information again, because it did go in and out a little bit. So I want to make sure that that's clear in case somebody heard his name but not exactly what was going on with Steve.
Yes,
if you don't mind.
Steve Darkangelo, our engineer and the superintendent of our DPW, is resigning effective the 18th of September, going into professional work. And so we will be looking for a replacement. We're not exactly sure if we'll do it exactly like Steve. My hunch is that's probably what we'll lean to. It's worked very well. Steve has done a great job in that position. We're going to severely miss him. Wish him all the best. The projects that we have, the Main Street, I think he's got everybody started enough that I think he can deal with Greg Humphrey. We may get in touch with an engineering firm to have somebody on call that if we need a service, you know, we pay them per call type thing. So in the meantime, we've got to figure out how to run the village, you know, without Steve, which will present problems. I don't look at problems from the day to day. I think I said earlier, Chuck McAuliffe is our foreman. We have a great crew. They all know their jobs. They know what's got to be done. And Chuck is so loyal to our village. You would think he grew up here. He actually came, I think, during high school and has never left. He hints at different times that he could retire in a couple of years, and I've threatened him with bodily harm, and he can't retire. Particularly now, for a couple of years, we would be in deep doo-doo if Chuck were to say, I'm leaving too. So if you see Steve around the village, wish him luck. He lives, you know, just outside the village, so you may see him afterwards anyways, but that company's gain is our loss. And but we have a good board. We have good people in our other seats of power, that we'll get this done. Won't be a huge problem, I don't think. So if anybody has any questions and doesn't know where to go, call me. At Village Hall, 635-3521, and they'll get the message to me, and I'll call you immediately. So other than that, have a nice rest of the week. Go Syracuse on Saturday. I'll be rooting for the Orange. And hopefully we'll, as Roy Rogers, my childhood hero, used to say, good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be here next week.
Sounds good, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.